after a lazy Sunday morning, it's time to get on with our day. So we're just leaving to go get groceries and a few more Christmas gift items. And so Cameron's waiting for me in the car, so I better go. See you later. As you can tell by that window behind me, the rain is back with a vengeance. We're home just long enough to put some groceries and other purchases away, grab some lunch, and here we go again. We just got home from shopping, and I looked at the back, and it's the strangest light. It's still raining, and you can see there's the start of a rainbow there. See, look at the light. It's just very eerie. And then there's the other side of a rainbow right there. I was not expecting to see a rainbow today at all. Yeah, what a strange sight. There's the view from the other side of the house, which is not quite as impressive, but just such a strange sky this evening. It's only about 4 o'clock, and I guess the sun is going down. But yeah, As I mentioned, we just got back from our shopping trip. This morning, we took everything out of bags and boxes and sorted everything and figured out where we needed to fill in the gaps. And so, other than a couple of things that I have to pick up this week, I think we have everyone pretty well covered. So the hard part's done. Now we just need to get things wrapped over the course of this week. And of course I still have that one slipper I have to knit. We had a really nice time last night at Cameron's Christmas party. The dinner was very good, and they had a really great live band. Played a good mix of what I call new and old music, appeal to a wide range of ages. And it was nice to see the dance floor was always full, because sometimes you go to these things and I feel sorry for the band when no one's up dancing, but they definitely kept people on the floor. Cameron's just making me a cup of tea right now, and so I'm going to have that and cast on Stephanie's slipper. But first I'm going to do a little taste test. I was out shopping and found these candy cane flavored Viva Puffs. These are a childhood favorite, and actually I just bought some for my mom that have the plain marshmallow with the jam in the middle, because she likes those. So that's going to be part of her birthday present coming up. We have quite a few birthdays in December and January that we will be celebrating on the 28th of December at brunch. So we're not just doing Christmas shopping, we're also doing birthday shopping at the same time. So lots and lots of things to buy. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Let's see. This looks like an ordinary one. Let's see. You can definitely taste the mint. I guess there must be jam in here because I can see it on the picture. Let's see. There it is. Kind of reminds me of mint wagon wheels. I don't know if wagon wheels are just a Canadian thing, or all throughout North America, or even in Europe, but it's a similar idea. Wagon wheels have like a cookie with marshmallow, and then cookie again, and chocolate overall in there, like about that big and about that high. And they used to make the mint, and the cookie would be dark chocolate, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. So nothing fabulous, but will go nicely with a cup. So when we were grocery shopping today, I was really thrilled to find that our grocery store had some Mizithra cheese in stock. Now, if you're familiar with the Old Spaghetti Factory, which is a restaurant that I always thought originated down in Gastown, which is the oldest part of Vancouver, but learned today from a Google search, began in Portland, Oregon in 1969. In any case, if you're familiar with their menu, you may have noticed one of their dishes they offer is spaghetti with browned butter and Mizithra cheese. And until a few years ago, the only place I ever saw Mizithra cheese mentioned or, sold or anything was at the old spaghetti factory. And I think it was my sister that introduced me to this wondrous dish, I think back in my late teens. And most times when I eat at the old spaghetti factory, I will order what's called the manager's favorite. And the manager's favorite is a choice of two of their list of spaghetti options. So you get half a plate of one and half a plate of the other. So I usually get half brown butter and Mizithra cheese and half mushroom sauce. So a few years ago, we saw Mizithra cheese in our grocery store and bought it. And when it does come in, we will buy it and grate it up and I will make the brown butter, spaghetti with brown butter and Mizithra cheese at home. And it's not quite the same as the old spaghetti factories. For one thing, I use a lot less butter, but it is really, really good. So tonight, that's what we're having for dinner. So I've got the Mizithra cheese out. I'm going to grate it. It's a very hard Greek cheese made, so you can says it's made from sheep's milk. And you grate it up, and it resembles Parmesan in a way when you grind it up. It's actually a really unique cheese, so it's not like exactly like that. But it's very, very hard though. And so right now I'm going to grate that up into a dish that I'll store in the fridge, and as we need it, we'll just grab it out in grated form. But then I've got simmering here some mushroom sauce. So I bought some mushrooms today and sauteed them up, and then I just added a jar of sauce to it, a prepared sauce. And so I'm going to let that simmer a little bit while I grate up the Mizithra cheese, and then in a little bit we'll get it going, and I'll show you how to make browned butter. That was another thing I Googled a few years ago when I discovered Mizithra cheese, because I didn't know what browned butter was, but it's really easy to make, and it definitely has a different flavor than just plain old melted butter. It is just plain old butter, but you melt it and heat it to the point of it turning brown, and it gets kind of a nutty flavor. So I'll come back and show you that later. So there's my pile of Mizithra. You can see it's quite a dry sort of cheese, similar to like Parmesan. It doesn't all clump together like, say, a grated cheddar would, for instance, but it does have a moistness to it. Did I mention that I was really thrilled to find it today because it's hard to get? It just seems to be in the store sporadically. Usually around this time of year, I think they bring it in. And so whenever we see it, I think every time we grocery shop, we take a glance through the cheese section in the deli area. But if we ever see it, we always make sure to snap it up because it's not available We're going to have some Caesar salad to go with, and we'll eat this while the water's boiling and the spaghetti undergoes the first part of cooking. Once you get the browned butter ready, you really don't want to delay. You want to be able to eat it right away. So since I don't have a restaurant staff here to time it out for me, that's how we'll manage the timing at home. Well, Cameron tends to spaghetti. Doesn't want to be on camera, so you just have to imagine that he's stirring it. I'll get the butter going. So there's a couple tablespoons of butter here, and I have it on sort of medium-high heat, and you just have to keep stirring. You don't want it to stick on the bottom. So the butter's all melted, and I'm just going to continue to stir it until it starts to turn golden. And the butter will reach a certain texture that you just know that it's that close to being done. It kind of gets a bit sticky on the bottom. It's just a little bit of a different texture, and you know it when you feel it. So So I'm just going to keep stirring here until it's ready to go. So it's getting close. The butter is starting just to turn a slight golden brown. And you just have to keep stirring it quickly to keep it from sticking or from burning. And it just will happen almost in an instant. It's starting to get that feeling on the bottom of the pan. It's almost like a sticky feeling, like your spoon wants to stick to the pan. And the butter takes on a new smell too, almost just a very rich smell, almost like when shortbread's baking, that kind of smell. You can see all of a sudden the butter is just getting that little bit darker. And I can feel more of that sticky, almost grainy feeling. See, it's almost getting a browny color there. It's very close. You might be able to hear the spoon on the bottom of the pan because it's reached that moment where it has changed. If Cameron brings the camera in closer, you might be able to hear that noise that the spoon is making. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. The spaghetti's just about ready to drain, and we'll plate it up. I put half of the spaghetti on the plate for the mushroom sauce, and I have mixed the remaining spaghetti with the browned butter. And I'm just going to put that on the other half of the plate. Even it out. Strand by strand. So I will put mushroom sauce on here. And now for the mazithra. There, it's ready to go. Okay, let's eat.
Cheers.
Cheers. He was so thrilled to be part of Vlogmas. Before I say goodbye for Vlogmas 16, I have one more taste test to do. A couple of weeks ago when we were in the liquor store, I saw this limited time flavor of Bailey's called pumpkin spice. Now, I know some people are basically opposed to everything pumpkin spice, and I think it's just on principle. My daughter is one of them, but I happen to like pumpkin spice. So when we were in the liquor store today getting beer and wine for Christmas, I thought I would get a bottle and give it a try. So here goes. You can smell the spice for sure. And you can definitely taste the spice. I'm not 100% convinced Bailey's and pumpkin spice belong together, at least based on my first taste. But I bet you it would be good with coffee. You know, I don't drink coffee normally, but I do enjoy a dessert coffee or a flavored coffee now and then. And I have a feeling this would actually be pretty good in a cup of coffee, you know, after dinner or when you come in from a cold afternoon. So I think I'm going to have to give that a try again at some point. And I think some people might just enjoy this with their coffee after Christmas dinner. So I'll definitely be offering it up to our guests on Christmas. So dishes to do, and then we're going to watch Outlander. So that's it for Vlogmas Day 16, and if all goes as planned, I will see you again tomorrow.